Call me crazy, but I think the iPhone XR is the most exciting phone of 2018. It has almost all the same features of the XS and XS Max, but at a way more affordable price point. Apple brought us to New York so we could have early hands-on access, and I want to test out some of those small differences from the XS. We had about an hour to play with the phone and get a feel for it. Here is everything that you need to know. An important detail about this phone is that the starting price is $749 US, which is way less than the XS and XS Max, but its specs are surprisingly similar. It has the same A12 Bionic processor and updated neural engine, so it's a lot faster at Face ID, portrait mode, and anything else using machine learning. Its screen is a 6.1-inch LCD, a size right in between the XS and XS Max. The detail and contrast look great, and I think it's going to hold up even to a discerning eye. And the glass on the screen has been updated, it's a lot more durable, which I am very happy about because my 10 scratched way too easily. It comes in 6 different colors: white, black, blue, yellow, coral, and product red, which is my favorite, and they actually look even more vibrant in person. The back is made of glass, the sides are aluminum, and it feels just a little bit lighter than the XS, which is made of steel. It has the same 12 megapixel camera, f1.8 lens, and smart HDR as the XS. And since I didn't get to take the XR outside, let's take a look at a few photos I've shot on the XS. From the results I've been seeing so far, this generation has taken a real step forward in terms of image quality, thanks both to the new camera hardware and improved image signal processor. It has portrait mode, so it can detect a human and create shallow depth of field with just one lens, and you can see that the lens emulation has gotten better in the quality of the bokeh. The selfie camera's been improved, so it works better in low light, and it's got the facial mapping that you need for Memoji and Animoji. It's splash and water resistant up to 1 meter, and the video records stereo sound, something I didn't even know I was missing on previous phones, and the speakers can play back in stereo as well. Unfortunately, I had to give Apple their phones back, but I'm very excited to do a real review of it. The ways that Apple brought down the cost are really smart, I think. A lot of it's things that people won't notice. For example, instead of an OLED screen, they're using what they call a liquid retina LCD screen, and it's a really nice screen. They had to make some updates for those rounded corners, and it looks amazing. I don't think many people are really going to notice the difference between them. Maybe in the blacks, I mean, OLED will always have those darker, inkier blacks, but for the most part, it looks great. And it still has True Tone as well, so you're not missing that. Maybe the best feature is that Apple's actually reporting that the battery life is going to last 1.5 hours longer than on the iPhone 8 Plus. Like, I think there's people that would choose this over the other ones, even at the same cost, just because you get so much extra time using the phone in a day. Something I was wishing for a while, that Apple would stop making the phones skinnier and just give them more battery life, and I guess they're finally doing it. It might remind you of the iPhone 5C, which also had a whole bunch of beautiful colors, but that was a lower end phone. They really cut more costs there, whereas the XR is a premium phone. To me, the XR feels like a flagship phone, and then the XS is just like a premium level above that. On the rear-facing camera, the wide-angle lens and sensor is exactly the same, which is great because I've been loving it lately. The difference is that it doesn't have that telephoto lens, and you mostly see that in how it does portrait mode. So the XS uses both lenses to create a really precise depth map around the person. On the XR, it's just using one lens to do that same thing. The way people are cut out around the edges isn't quite as precise with the single lens, but it means that you can shoot a wider angle portrait, which I actually love. And that just means because the XS uses the telephoto lens, you have to back up further to shoot in portrait mode, and you could be closer when you're using the XR. I want to watch their YouTube video.
I know.
After playing with the phone, I feel really good about it. I think a lot of people are going to love this, and it'll be the right choice for most people. This is the biggest change we've seen to an iPhone camera in years. The sensor is 30% larger. I feel like Apple didn't even hype this camera enough. It's really a big improvement. I have a lot more to say about it on the podcast. I had Casey Liss on from ATP, and we also went into a lot of the technical details about the camera changes. So go to stallmanpodcast.com to listen, and come back to YouTube where I'm going to dive way deeper into this phone.